Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishuttle. Doug, what a busy sports betting business week! My God, all the deals being made.
Well, it's always a busy time, especially with the summer coming up. You're starting to see some things getting in position, not only in sports betting but eSports. And,
sure, I joked around last week saying, "Well, it seems like everyone's trying to get their announcements out really quick before the Memorial Day week."
Well, everyone wants to take some time off, but you know what? I don't think they do take time off like us. We're doing a Memorial Day show here.
Yeah, why not? But but very busy, and these deals include something really spectacular, and that's the data. And the data has become an issue when you're talking about sports betting and the sportsbook deals and the leagues. And I'm going to have a great Part 1 interview with Matt Rybaltowski. He's an amazing writer from USBets.com and SportsHandle.com, and he knows everything there is to know about the data and the sports betting deals and how the data works into the sports books and what does it mean for the consumer.
Yeah, and the first part of the interview focuses on the data. And actually, this is the first time we're having a Part 1, Part 2 interview.
Yeah,
so
right.
Next week will be Part 2, but this week, Part 1 focuses on the data and the issues underlying what's going on with the data in terms of the leagues and everything else with the books and the providers.
It's very interesting. It's an issue regarding sports betting that not a lot of people know about, and I think it's crucial to sports betting. And we want to thank Matt for coming on and talking to us.
Oh, Matt was a great guest.
Oh, great.
One of the smartest guys
absolutely
we've had on the show talking about sports betting.
Well, like I said, it was a busy time in sports book world,
sports business,
world,
all that stuff.
And let's take a trip down the Turnpike. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
And as we're speeding down the Turnpike here, first up is sports betting. And again, another media deal in the sports betting industry.
It's just, like I said, it's an amazing time that these guys are announcing these things.
And this one actually makes a ton of sense.
Sure.
Fubo TV and FanDuel. Fubo TV is a live sports streaming network. It's on some of the cable providers, but it's really an online network that just covers live sports.
Yeah.
And FanDuel, after launching their live sports streaming data combination on their website, this makes perfect sense.
Oh, absolutely. I think I know FanDuel has their own channel. I have
TVG.
Roku. Yeah, well, they have TVG, but they also have a FanDuel Roku channel. I guess it's on other platforms as well, but I think it's excellent because they have more ways to win. They have TVG. They have a lot. I think who was it? Barstool Sports, I think, does a show with
Yeah.
it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out who does a show with them, and it's an outstanding channel. So
Well, here's the
I
deal.
think it's going to even be better with Fubo TV.
Here's the deal. FanDuel is going to provide exclusive sports gambling content, some special shows, screen data.
Hey, there's that data thing
Exactly.
again.
And in return, FanDuel becomes Fubo TV's exclusive sportsbook, online casino, horse racing, and daily fantasy partner. Also, they're going to be the only gambling advertiser on Fubo. Fubo, not Fubu. Fubu's the clothing.
So this is exclusive, huh?
This is an exclusive advertising side for FanDuel on Fubo. And they're also going to be adding the TVG network onto the Fubo lineup of channels.
You know, it's interesting. Some cable companies, TVG, that's part of the standard cable. You know, you get your basic package, and some have TVG, but other places don't. So it's very interesting.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this rolls out. It's going to start with just the Fubo cycling channel, in addition to the horse racing channels from FanDuel. That's where it's going to start out with the data, the streaming data, and all that stuff.
Yep.
And it's going to start spreading out as they expand this partnership.
Now, is this going to be subscription-based, or can I get it for free?
Well, the TVG is going to be part of the base lineup, which is free.
Okay, good.
On Fubo.
Okay, good.
TVG2, which is the second tier level of TVG, that's going to be part of the Sports Plus package, $8.99.
Oh, okay.
And also their show More Ways to Win.
Okay.
And other programs are going to be part of the $8.99 package.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, there's probably some kind of revenue share being done there too with that inclusion in the package.
Sure.
So we'll see how that goes. I mean, all these other channels coming out, Fox doing theirs, ESPN doing theirs now. Now we have Fubo, which is great.
Absolutely.
Going over to New Jersey, we have Borgata, and finally announcing when they're going to be opening their sportsbook.
I got to tell you, I can't wait to see this.
It's going to be opening on June 29th, and it's going to be called the Moneyline Bar and Book and Level 1 Cocktail Bar and Lounge. So it's going to be...
these are connected?
They're connected.
Okay, good.
And the Moneyline Bar and Book, let me get that right because that's what the name is. Moneyline Bar and Book is going to have a 40-foot by 11.5-foot tall LED video wall. There's going to be 17 other monitors throughout the book itself. They're going to have varying displays between 98-inch and 86-inch. And the overall venue is going to be 8,000 square feet.
Wow.
Not as big as what the Wild West is planning.
Yeah, the Wild West, I guess,
15,000.
is coming out mid-June, and
Yep.
I guess they're in June as well. Borgata's in June as well.
But, you know, this is approximately half the size of the Wild West. But whenever Borgata does something, it looks amazing.
I think they're one of the classiest casinos and hotel in Atlantic City. I think you have to visit Borgata because it's absolutely beautiful.
I'm actually dying to see this. When we got the press release from Borgata, they're having a distinctive light feature, you know, lighting atmosphere that's going to make it look like a coach's playbook.
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
I guess there's going to be some kind of lighting structure where you're going to see X's and O's maybe or something.
Okay, all right.
I don't know, but I'm dying to see what that means.
Yeah.
So, and they're going to have flex back gaming stools throughout the bar. You're going to have high top tables, device charging capability.
Good.
Plush U-shaped booths.
Okay.
And also banquet seating in their VIP lounge.
Nice.
And they're going to have 6 betting windows,
All right.
unlike what is it? They only have 3 right now in the race book.
Well, to bet on sports in Borgata, you have to go to their race book. I think they just put. I think it's more than 3, but I don't know. When
It's
first
in the
went
one
it's
side
in
of
the
it,
corner
yeah.
of the race book.
So
That's their temporary one.
This will be nice, and especially with the level 1 cocktail bar and lounge there. That's going to be a great atmosphere. And they're going to have not only the tellers, but they're also going to have the kiosks.
Good.
So 2 states to talk about some new things coming on. Iowa, we know they just passed their sports betting legislation.
Yep.
They're anticipating launch of sports betting in Iowa around August.
Okay.
Just in time for football.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. That's a good target date.
Yep. And in West Virginia, you know, everyone knows their mobile betting system is basically shut down because of what happened with Miami and Delaware North. And
Yeah,
all that stuff.
have they been working it out, or are they still in negotiations, or what the hell's going on with them?
That's still
Up in the air.
Yeah,
huh?
well, they're still going through the suit.
Yeah, they had the Bet Lucky app, and I guess that had to close down on March 6th or something like that.
Yeah, because of
early March.
The lawsuit with the third-party provider, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But now we have West Virginia and DraftKings coming into play here. DraftKings has just completed their regulatory hearings and grant and licensing and all that stuff, and they're going to have a soft launch, all that stuff.
Probably this coming week, right?
Yeah.
Good, I hope so.
So, that's what's going on in West Virginia. And one little tidbit for those of you who saw the docuseries Action.
Where was that? Showtime?
Showtime.
That was Showtime, right? Okay.
Vegas Dave was one of the characters focused upon in the series.
Sure.
He finally got a sentence.
All right.
He is banned from sportsbooks for 3 years.
Well, wasn't he banned from sportsbooks?
According to him,
anyway?
he was banned everywhere because he was too damn good. But he's banned from sportsbooks for 3 years, sentenced to 3 years probation, gambling treatment, and 150 hours of community service.
Oh, okay.
So we have a little resolution to that one little loose end from the docuseries on Showtime Action. So for those of you who are fans of Vegas Dave, you know what happened to him.
Exit 2.
Going over to eSports. Full Sail University in Florida has opened what it's calling the largest on-campus collegiate esports arena in the U.S.
I got to be honest with you. Until you told me about this, I never knew where Full Sail University was.
I had to look it up, too.
Yeah, it was in Florida.
I mean, I see their online school for the entertainment and some of their sports management degrees and all that stuff, but
Sure.
they actually have a physical location in Florida. And now they have what's being called the Fortress.
Okay.
That's their new esports arena, which is going to be home to Full Sail's esports team, Armada.
Okay.
They love these really cool names, really aggressive things.
The
I mean,
Armada.
it's almost like Game of Thrones light with some of these schools doing this stuff. But they had the official opening and ribbon cutting this past week, which coincides with the 40th anniversary of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 10th annual Hall of Fame week.
Okay, so this is actually on campus, right?
This is on campus, and
Wow.
it's a physical
Okay.
structure. It's 11,000 square feet, give or take, has room for 500 people. And it does make it that size and that amount of fan space does make it the largest esports arena on a college campus.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are going to be more coming, but they're the first, or at least the largest, I should say. Doing a little esports business here, State Farm, the insurance company, they extended their sponsorship of multiple League of Legends esport properties.
Okay.
Through 2021. So 2 more years of State Farm sponsored broadcasts for certain things. I saw some photos of this. They have a State Farm sports desk for some of the esports events, all that stuff.
Oh, really? It's like
Yeah.
an update desk, or is it like
You
a?
ever
do
see
they have
Sports
a-
Center?
Yeah. Okay.
Like one of those
All right.
things, but they have State Farm behind
Oh,
it.
do
And
they have like a
everything.
pre and post game shows?
They
or-
have all that
Wow,
stuff. Yeah.
boy.
So, yeah, no, they
Again, is this on Twitch again that I have to check out?
It's on a couple different things.
All right.
But State Farm seems to be one of the earliest mainstream sponsors to get into this. They started this in 2018,
Oh, well, good for
which
them.
was last year. So they're going to continue to support the North American League of Legends Championship Series, as well as the League of Legends World Championship, the Mid-Season Invitational, the All-Star event. And they're also going to continue their support of the League of Legends College Championship, the thing they just did in Texas.
Okay.
So they're going to continue doing that. They're going to be through 2021. And last but not least for esports, this is going to bear watching, especially us being attorneys.
Yeah.
This is an indication of how esports is becoming more and more like professional sports. We have a lawsuit filed by a player against his team.
All right.
He is alleging that the organization is taking 80% of his revenue from his sponsorship deals, while also denying him other potential deals, sponsorship-wise,
Wow, interesting.
limiting his earning potential under California law.
Okay.
So this is the first ever major lawsuit from a player against his own team.
All right.
And everyone's watching to see what's happening here. The player himself is TFUE. I don't know how to say that.
Okay.
Tafu. or however you want to say it, but he was the most watched Fortnite player on Twitch over the past 30 days prior to the filing of this lawsuit.
Okay.
More than 11 million viewer hours watched him play. So that's the Twitch metrics now coming into play.
Is this the first lawsuit of its kind with regard to esports?
Yes.
All right.
So this is why the industry is keeping an eye on this.
If you're going to run it like a professional sports league, I think there might have to be some organization for the players, like a players association or some kind of union to really, so the players have rights, and I want to see how that works out.
There's got to be an eSports Players Association coming into play at some point.
There has to be. Or else there'll be more lawsuits like this.
Yeah, and he's claiming that his team, the Faze clan, that's what they call themselves, has prevented him from entering the deals like with HyperX, which is one of the major players in esports.
That's why maybe a players association would have to be formed just to protect themselves.
Yeah,
and protect the league as well. So so you don't have these tons of lawsuits coming down the road.
And in response to his statements and claims that he's been denied all earning potential, all that stuff, the clan has issued a statement via Twitter saying that they have.
Was it Faze clan?
Faze clan.
That's the name of the.
It's an abbreviation of something.
Oh, okay. But that's the name of the team, right?
That's the name of the team.
All right.
They've issued a statement via Twitter saying that they have not taken any of his tournament winnings or social media revenue, and their total revenue from this guy has only been $60,000, while he's reaped in millions.
They seem to be far apart on some of the facts here, but it should be interesting to see how this works out.
I just hope this doesn't turn out to be a money grab by some attorney.
Every case is a money grab.
Yeah, but there may not be any reason for the suit. To be honest with you, who knows?
Who knows? I mean, if whatever side the sides are claiming vastly different things, and it's, he's claiming 80% of his earnings were taken, and the team says no, we haven't taken anything. That's really, really far apart. I'm curious to see when they present the facts and present the evidence. Where's the real story on this one?
And it'll be really interesting to see exactly the aftermath of this. If it goes for the player, you're going to see a whole new dynamic between players and teams. If it goes for the team, you may actually end up seeing a union formed by the players.
It would have to go that way anyway. I would think.
At some point,
it's getting too big. It's too much money, and players have to protect themselves. Teams have to protect themselves. So unionization is probably the way to go. Or players' associations is probably a way to go.
Exit 3.
Okay, we're going to do some NASCAR talk, mainly because we don't do enough of it. And two big stories came out for NASCAR. International Speedway Corporation and NASCAR have merged. This was a $2 billion deal.
Wow. Oh, my God. Boy, that's such big business.
And a lot of people say, well, what's the point? NASCAR is the car racing entity. ISC, the International Speedway Corporation, owns the tracks. So now there's going to be a lot more maneuvering on how to do where and when and how are they going to be doing the racing. NASCAR controls everything now, not only the races, but also where they're having them, the schedules. It's going to be so much easier to have NASCAR scheduling things, different drivers, different teams everywhere, where are they going to do it, when they're going to do it, that sort of thing. And it actually is going to benefit NASCAR a hell of a lot more than people realize, because especially now with sports betting,
data
is going to be huge. Where they're racing
There's
is
that
going to
data
be
thing again.
Everything just follows along with.
I would guess that's going to be the next one to have a deal with some kind of sports betting entity of some kind, NASCAR.
They did with BetGenius.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't see how that's going to affect the media aspect of that. I'm curious what network is going to get involved with both NASCAR and BetGenius.
Well, Fox already has the majority of contracts, and Fox is launching Fox Bet.
Well, there you go. So
you're probably going to see some kind of deal coming down the road with this. So, but yeah, it's it'll be interesting to see.
But I would love to see, like the data stream on while I'm watching the race.
That's got to be coming.
I mean, it has to be coming.
They already have most of the data there because when you're watching a NASCAR race, you see the speed of the car.
Sure, the speed of the car.
They're going to have the angle of the inclines. They're going to have how far you turn the wheel to make that left.
How much gas the guy has. When's
the tires.
The tires.
Air in the tires.
Yeah. That's,
how often he has to make a pit stop, that sort of thing. How many people...
there's so much data going to be on the screen that we're not even going to be able to see the race.
Well, it's going to be an information overload to some people.
Probably.
If you're doing the eSports thing and you got those games running all over the place with the numbers everywhere on the screens, you might be used to seeing some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, old school people like me and you that grew up in just watching the races with no sports betting attached, we're probably going to have the longest time to get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see exactly if they're going to do what they're doing with the basketball things, where they're going to have one broadcast for TV and a betting broadcast, or what do they call it, an augmented broadcast, whatever the phrasing they're using nowadays. But it'll be interesting to see exactly how NASCAR evolves with this, because also now that they own the tracks, they actually probably have better ownership of what sponsors the tracks too.
Sure.
So you may start seeing some betting entities sponsoring tracks and different things going on in the infields.
Yeah.
So that's going to bear watching. The other big news story coming out of NASCAR, I don't know if it's really huge, but they announced their Hall of Fame class for 2020.
Sure.
And they're saying this is the most interconnected group of inductees.
What's that mean?
They're all related in some way.
Okay.
All of these inductees. The first guy that they have announced was Tony Stewart.
All right.
Now, the next guy, Joe Gibbs, is the owner of the racing teams. Stewart won 2 of his 3 Monster Cups for Gibbs.
Okay. All right. So it's okay. See, I see now what you mean by connected.
Then you have Bobby Labonte, however you say that.
Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte. He is also part of the Monster Energy Cup series, and he won his 2000 championship with Gibbs.
Okay.
Then you have crew chief and engineer builder Waddell Wilson, who worked with Stewart at Rainier Racing during the Xfinity Cup series.
Okay.
Part of Gibbs. Then you have Buddy Baker, who really is not part of Gibbs's tree of drivers, but he did work with Stewart when Stewart took his Buddy Baker driving school. He went to Buddy Baker's driving school. So there is all this interconnections going on, and that's the reason why I brought this up, because I've never seen an entire Hall of Fame class interconnected like this before.
Interesting.
So, I mean, if you're a race fan, you knew this. And, again, I don't think you'd ever see this in football. I don't know if you'd see it anywhere else other than NASCAR.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, that's very interesting how they're all connected in some way.
Yeah, like I said, never seen that before. Probably never see it again.
Exit 4.
And last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit of home school here. Rutgers.
Okay.
Is celebrating their 150-year anniversary of the first ever football game.
Sure,
College football game.
Rutgers and Princeton.
And back then it was Rutgers and College of New Jersey.
Yes, Princeton was not called Princeton back then. It was the College of New Jersey.
And that took place November 6th, 1869, so it's coming up for a little further down the road. But It's interesting because when they were actually starting to figure out how to market this anniversary game, they realized the majority of the student body of Rutgers now don't know anything about it.
Okay.
It's they don't know exactly how big football is for Rutgers, how they were the first ones. And even though Rutgers makes it a point to tell everyone they're the birthplace of college football, the majority of current students really don't realize that or understand it or understand the depth of that kind of statement.
Yeah.
So what they did was...
Well, let's be honest. Rutgers' football team has been so bad, so not a lot of people have been paying attention to Rutgers football lately.
And I think the current crop, half of it's not playing.
Yeah.
So unfortunately. But what they did was to get the current millennials, I guess you call them now, or whatever age group these are. They're the group underneath it, the younger kids.
I don't even know what they're called, what that group is called.
So to get them interested or back being interested into the history of college football at Rutgers, they looked at something that probably no one really thought they should, but it probably worked to their advantage from what I'm understanding, what I'm reading from everything, all the sources. They went to the Fire Festival.
Oh, God.
That messed up
they should be
music concert, all that stuff. But what happened with the Fire Festival? It was a disaster, and everyone acknowledges that. But the marketing strategy they used was cutting edge, which sort of made it work to a certain extent.
I guess everyone's talking about it. I guess the marketing was okay, although everyone's talking about it because how bad it was. So, interesting marketing.
I think you got to credit the Fire Festival with launching this media influencer style of marketing that a lot of places are engaged in. So what they did, the Fire Festival, they did an Instagram influencer campaign in which 400 models posted an image of a bright orange tile with the hashtag Fire Festival in the image. Very little words, very little ad copy. It was just an image with a hashtag.
So Rutgers is trying to do the same kind of thing?
They are doing similar things to it.
Okay.
Their big addition to this kind of marketing scheme, I hate saying scheme, but marketing program, they had a great giveaway T-shirt given away at the spring game, which read "The Birthplace of College Football" in alternating red and white text. Very simple shirt.
Okay.
Just the text. Nothing, no pictures, no claims, no Rutgers symbols on it or anything. Then they did a red tile, which mirrored the Fire Festival's orange tile.
Okay.
Put it on the shirt.
All right.
And then also put it into the Instagram posts, as an image, not just on the shirt. And then they started increasing the Instagram campaign by having student body members wearing the shirts.
Huh.
Then they increased it again and started including the athletes. And what happened was, at the end of this campaign, the amount of Google searches on the phrase "birthplace of college football" skyrocketed.
Well, see, it worked.
And it worked.
It worked.
So even though the Fire Festival was a disaster, their marketing aspect of that festival is actually a proven commodity. And it's now worked again for Rutgers. And it's nice to see them actually doing something like that.
Yeah, good for them. Hey, it's a big event for college football. I mean, I'd be curious to see what Princeton is doing.
Princeton's been pretty quiet.
They were the visiting team for that first college football game. So I wonder.
I haven't seen anything
I'm
Princeton's
doing.
doing.
See if they're going to jump on some stuff there.
It'll be interesting to see if they can counter this. But again, back then they were College of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And they're now Princeton University. I don't know if they want to remember this game.
Yeah, right.
Quite honestly. So, but
hey, part of history.
Exactly.
Well, today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, to get in touch with us at Turnpike Sports, you can call or text us at 609-512-5910, 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports, that's our handle on both Facebook and Twitter. Info at Turnpike Sports Radio is the email address for the show. Don't forget to order your International Bikini Team calendar. That's info at internationalbikini-team.org for your ordering information. You can also catch the show on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Just head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com, and you will see the link to watch it on your smart televisions. The show is also distributed by iHeartMedia, and iHeartMedia is part of Waze, so if you're ever using your GPS and you have the iHeart app on your phone, you can actually call us up and listen to us in your car as you're getting lost. iTunes, you can subscribe to us from there, Stitcher Radio, and also YouTube.
And stick around after this. I get to talk to Matt Rybaltowski, a great writer from USBets.com and SportsHandle.com, and we're going to make sense of all those sports betting deals that you've been hearing about in the news and all the data provision and the sports books and what they do with this data when they get it. So stick around. It's a great interview. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from Turnpike Sports with this week's Bet Flash. FanDuel and Fubo TV have inked a partnership deal. Under the agreement, Fubo TV will air exclusive sports betting content provided by FanDuel, which includes screen data and shows geared toward the sports bettor. FanDuel will be its exclusive sports betting, horse racing, and online casino partner. DraftKings will be releasing its new sports betting app in West Virginia as early as this week. The West Virginia Lottery completed the testing phase of the app last week, which will lead to its soft launch soon. West Virginia has been without mobile sports betting since their first app, Bet Lucky, shut down on March 6th. And finally, the Borgata Casino in Atlantic City has announced the opening date of its brick-and-mortar sportsbook. The $12 million Money Line Bar and Book is set to open on June 29th. The book will feature an 11.5-foot tall and 40-foot wide video wall and 17 additional displays throughout the book, along with a 35-foot bar. Can't wait to check it out. From the seaside to the desert, from the betting lines to the sites online, Turnpike Sports has got you covered. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Turnpike Sports. New Jersey's sports betting market has exploded, and there's so many places to bet it can make your head spin. But PointsBet.com is the one online sportsbook you can't afford to ignore. PointsBet.com has everything a person would want in a sportsbook. Spread betting, moneyline betting, prop bets, you name it, you'll find it at PointsBet. Daily promos that can't be beat, odds boosters you won't find anywhere else, early payout promos, it's all at PointsBet.com. You can bet from anywhere in New Jersey using your mobile device. And now there's even a better reason to sign up with PointsBet.com. Go to PointsBet.com and sign up using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $1,000. PointsBet is the preferred sportsbook of superstars Allen Iverson and Darrelle Revis. They even have the Revis Betting Academy hosted by Darrelle Revis himself. So sign up today at PointsBet.com using our promo code PIKE and start having some real fun. That's promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. PointsBet. Stay sharp. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Psst. Yeah, you. Come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sport. You know, the news on the subject of sports betting is coming at us at a fast pace nowadays, and we're lucky to interview some of the best reporters covering the sports betting scene. And today, I think we have one of the best from USBets.com and SportsHandle.com, Matt Rybaltowski. Matt, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You know, we're seeing a lot of these new deals being made between the sports leagues and the sports book providers, and at the heart of all these deals is data being provided. For those in the audience who are not familiar with these deals or are not sure what everyone's talking about when they're speaking about data, what is data and why is it so important with regard to sports betting?
Yeah, you're saying that that in-play wagering is the new hottest thing out there, and in New Jersey, mobile wagering represents about 80% of the handle, and in-play wagering involves what's going on during a game. So take the Warriors Blazers series for example. The line could have started at say Golden State minus 8.5, and if in any of those games Golden State raced out to a big lead, say they were up by 15 points or so, then the line would move accordingly. And so in-play wagering has become super popular because it's really entertaining for the fans. Basically, you can follow the game and bet on straight bets. You can bet on certain prop bets, and that has revolutionized sports betting. So with the data, there are these major third-party providers out there, such as Sportradar, Genius Sports, and Perform, that provide these data feeds to the sports books. So a lot of these sports books, no matter how large they are, they don't have the bandwidth to grade bets through some of their workers in the back office. They don't have the manpower for it at all. They might have 4 or 5 guys in the back monitoring those games, but on a busy basketball night or a busy baseball night, they just can't do it. So these companies provide high power algorithms that are able to update the line in real time. And so those data packages are great. They are top of the line, but they're expensive. They're around $5,000 to $10,000 a month to supply that data to the books. Mm-hmm. Well, what's happening now is those companies have also reached deals with a few of the leagues, most notably the NBA and the MLB. So there's this major data war that has ensued on what the price of this data should go for.
Well, let me ask you about
go
that.
Ahead.
How do these data providers set up their contracts with the leagues? Do the leagues pay these data providers? Do the data providers pay the leagues to be involved with them? How does those underlying contracts work?
Exactly. Yeah. The data providers pay the leagues, and this has gone on for a few years. Sportradar had a multi-year contract with the NBA that was established a few years ago, but then in November, Sportradar and Genius Sports became non-exclusive partners of the league to distribute that betting data. So that contract gave each company the ability to distribute official league data to any sports book in the U.S. there.
So, Matt, you mentioned something very interesting in your article on SportsHandle.com, and that these third-party data providers, want to become the official data provider of a league. But it was interesting that a lot of people think when they say official, it means exclusive, but that's not the case. The league can have many data providers, correct?
Correct. Yeah. For as of now, the league has 2 data providers in Sportradar and Genius Sports. Sportradar is headquartered in Switzerland, but they have a large U.S. presence, and the same for Genius Sports. They're based in the UK, but they also partner with numerous sports books in the U.S. And I think the reason the league is doing that is because they want to cast as wide of a net as possible and ensure that the league's official data is distributed to as many sports books around the country as they can get. The major issue with NBA official data is that it's coming from the NBA's official statistical platform. So when you take the last series, there could be questions on whether certain plays might be graded as a steal or a block. Say, Damian Lillard drives down the lane. He puts up a shot from 12 feet away, and Draymond Green comes out of nowhere and blocks it. Well, there are data spotters on the court that are able to determine if that's a steal or a block. And in turn, a lot of sports books have these exotic props out there where you can bet on, say, how many blocks that Green will record in a given game. And so if a book is taking, say, 90% of their bets on Green hitting the over with the blocks, there is a possibility that a sports book could manipulate the grading of those bets to turn that block into a steal in order to possibly win with that bet. And that's absolutely what the league wants to get away from there. The league wants to protect the integrity of their product. They don't want books manipulating lines at all. So from the league's point of view, they're arguing that if that official data is used, that provides a safeguard for consumers from some of these books that might act in an unscrupulous manner to manipulate certain bets.
You know, you brought up a great question, and I'm curious about the relationship between the data providers and the leagues. I mean, if I'm a data provider, can I go directly to a sports book provider and say, you know what, I am the official data provider of the league. Yeah, you can make a deal with me. Are the data providers allowed to go to the sports book directly, or do they have to work out something through the league to go to the sports books?
It's a tremendous question there, because what's happening is that these data providers, such as Sportradar, have had long-standing relationships with sports books in Las Vegas. So they've provided these data feeds to some of the major sports books, such as Caesar's Palace, the Superbook, William Hill. They've done that for years. So they've already had long-standing relationships with those books. But since the Passfoot decision, what the NBA has done is the NBA has signed on certain books as official partners. The one that stands out is that the NBA reached a deal with MGM Resorts that was reportedly worth around $25 million for 3 years. So there are some marketing aspects to that deal where MGM's banners are able to be displayed at games, or MGM might have certain advertising rates. But what it appears that two leagues are trying to do, the NBA and MLB in particular, is to convert those distribution deals that Sportradar has had with non-official partners, and then sign on those books as official partners. So those books that may pay, say, $5,000 to $10,000 a month for Sportradar's feeds, if they wind up being converted to an official partner, then they would have to pay much more, in the neighborhood of, say, $5 to $8 million a year. So from the league's perspective, that would enable them to generate much more revenue there.
So I guess a cynical person would say, is this the league's way of getting money without calling it an integrity fee? Is that what people would look at saying? Or?
Yeah, and the critics of the leagues have argued that the leagues really haven't been consistent in articulating why they deserve this fee. At first, it was called an integrity fee, and then it was changed to a royalty fee. And so, if you want to take the position that the leagues deserve a piece of this new enormous pie that's out there, then that's a compelling argument. But the detractors would argue that there really is no difference between the technology involved in an official data feed and a non-official data feed. So their argument is that it's just a cash grab by the leagues to make extra revenue there.
I mean, you threw out some figures before, but again, what kind of money are we talking about a sportsbook operator would have to pay for this data feed?
Yeah, so the additional asking price that MLB reportedly made was 0.25% of a sportsbook handle for MLB games. So on the face of it, that figure looks minuscule. Last year in Nevada, the overall sports handle was around $5 billion, and so at 0.25%, that amounts to around $12.5 million there. But since this so-called data war has garnered so much attention, there is really a battle going on here on whether the leagues are looking to establish a baseline. So they've lobbied a few states for statutory mandates to require books to use official data, and as we speak, only one of the 11 states that offers sports betting has a bill with that provision in it. So it's really unclear if the leagues are looking to take a legislative route for these mandates, or if in fact it doesn't work, they could take this other path whereby they would go and make additional demands for these books to use their official data.
You know, I'm a lawyer, and I always look at things like I boil it down to different issues. And the one question I have when looking at this is, who actually owns this data? I mean, does the league have I'm going to use a lawyer term now, a proprietary claim on the data, or is the data owned by the company that collected it?
It's such a terrific question, and I went on a sports talk radio show in Las Vegas a few weeks ago when this story broke, and the host of that show is Matt Rybaltowski. And
sure, I know Matt. Yep.
Yeah, and he made a great point where he argued that if the leagues claim that they own the intellectual property of this data, he said, well, do James Naismith's great grandchildren should they receive a royalty here, or should the trust of the Naismith family receive a royalty? And it's a really good question on who actually owns this data, because the NBA uses this company called Second Spectrum that employs laser technology to come up with various complex stats. So if you look at the data of certain offensive stats, like what's Steph Curry's 3-point percentage when coming off a curl and when he has a hand in his face. Well, the league is making a great argument there that data is proprietary because only Second Spectrum is coming up with that data. But then when you look at normal threes, well, did Curry hit 5 or 6 during a game? That data is readily available to everyone. So that argument doesn't really hold water as much because it's right there on the screen during a game.
Yeah, because I was thinking about, I wonder who owned the idea of the exit velocity of a home run or the velocity of a puck. I mean, can the league say, no, that's ours, or is that, the special method of a data collector, and we should own that because that's our work product? It's just one of those things that I guess that has to be worked out in the near future.
Oh yeah. That's really that's sports betting 2.0 because MLB's Statcast has the ability now to measure, say, Aaron Judge or Stanton's exit velocity there, and MGM Resorts. They also have the ability to have access to that data. So around this time next year, you could see MGM Resorts offering those type of bets for fans, and I think it's really fun for fans to bet on things like that. So you might see that as soon as 2020. But before then, some of these data questions have to be settled first.
Whenever you talk about the sports leagues, we have to take into consideration the players' associations in those sports leagues. Have they come down on this issue of data, and what do they feel is the appropriate response to these questions?
Yeah, the players' associations have largely been aligned in these issues, and you've seen at several sports betting conferences across the country. The players' associations have appeared at the same panel, and they've pretty much taken a unified front because their major concern is that they don't want some of the biometric data that's out there to compromise privacy issues related to their players. So hypothetically, you can see a situation over the next few years where maybe a sports book would be interested in looking at a kicker's heart rate before a last second kick, like that one with Cody Parkey in the Bears and the Bears-Eagles game. And that honestly that invites a lot of privacy issues there. If a league or a book would broadcast a player's heart rate for the entire country to see. From a betting perspective, that really informs bettors. Say if Parkey's nervous and his heart rate is 195 or 200, you might want to choose no for whether he would hit the field goal, but from a privacy standpoint, that invites a lot of thorny questions there. So I think the players' associations are taking a pretty interesting or reasonable strategy by coming together and making sure that those privacy issues are taken care of before before some of these prop bets based on biometric data are offered to fans.
You know, a great event was held a couple of weeks ago, and that was ICE North America in Boston, and the issue of data and sports betting came up in one of the panels, and you wrote a great article in SportsHandle.com about a conversation in that one of those panels got a little heated. Can you tell us what you heard during the panel, and what was the issue that sparked some disagreement in the panelists?
Yeah, it relates specifically to pricing power with these data packages that we touched on before, and Sarah Slane of the American Gaming Association, she said that the gaming industry and the leagues they're closer than people think on a lot of issues, but the gaming industry is firmly against the fact that these statutory mandates should be put in place to require books to pay for data. She thinks there's no reason for it, that it's more of a heavy-handed approach there if that winds up happening. And the AGA is more in favor of commercial partnerships or commercial deals between the leagues and sports books for the data. On the other end, Daniel Wallach, who is a preeminent sports betting attorney, and he's made a number of appearances across the country, and he runs a sports wagering and integrity program at the University of New Hampshire. He argued some of the points that I mentioned before. That he said there is no reason why a sports book should not use official data from the leagues, and his point, he touched upon some of those same issues there. That when you get official data, you're depending on the imprimatur or the official stamp of the leagues, and books should use that official data, and then instead of non-official data that could very well be faulty. So both Sarah Slane and Dan Wallach took extremely different views, and at this point, it looks like the leagues and the sports books are nowhere close to reaching a consensus there at all.
Where do you see the future of this data issue going? Do you think the states will have to get more involved through their legislation, or what do you see happening in the near future?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's really hard to tell which side will blink first at this moment, and it really depends what happens from a state legislative perspective, because if there are only a handful of states that have provisions on this data mandate, then the league's position isn't really strong there. But if you look into the near future and say 40 states legalize sports betting, and then say 25 of the 40 have those mandates, then the leagues are in a pretty strong position in terms of mandates. That's one major issue, and then the next issue is what will happen on the federal level too, because when this whole issue of legalized sports betting began to gather steam a few years ago, and even before the PASPA decision, it looks like the leagues took the position that this should be regulated on a federal level and not a state level. So if those data mandates are part of a new federal framework for sports betting, that's a major victory for the leagues there. So I think we should look at those two developments: what happens on a state level, and then what happens on a federal level, to see which side might blink first.
And that's all the time we have this week for part one of my interview with Matt. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
East Coast Gaming Congress is the second longest running gaming conference in the country.
2 days, focused discussion with the right speakers.
Coming together and paying attention to where is the future of the industry going and how do we prepare ourselves for it.
I want to give people the chance to do what they want to do. If they want to play online, if they want to come to the casino, but the more different offerings that you offer folks, the better experience you're going to have and the stickier your customer is going to be.
The biggest challenge facing this industry will be how do they attract new players and get them into their casinos by sports betting, by online gaming, and other emerging forms of gaming.
I started my day up at Monmouth Park, where I had the great pleasure of placing the first 2 legal sports bets in New Jersey's history.
I'm not a food and beverage person at all, but I found the food and beverage panel today fascinating.
You can come here even if you're not planning on playing, and then eventually turn a couple of diners into players, and then they got a routine in their life.
ECGC brings in subject matter experts that are all explaining what's going to happen next, and that's the reason I come here.
When it comes to online sports betting, PlaySugarHouse.com offers players one of the best experiences in the state of New Jersey. PlaySugarHouse.com offers millions of betting options on the sports you love. They offer live in-game betting on sporting events worldwide, moneyline bets, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. All at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting in New Jersey. Take advantage of one of their 12 easy deposit methods to get in on all the action. And now, when you sign up at PlaySugarHouse.com using our promo code PIKE, they'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds at PlaySugarHouse.com. Sign up today at PlaySugarHouse.com and don't forget to use our promo code PIKE to take advantage of their first deposit match up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. I want to give a big thank you to Matt Rybaltowski from USBets.com and SportsHandle.com. And the great thing about this is that was only part one of my interview. Part two is coming up next weekend. It's going to be great.
And part two is going to focus on some of the revenue numbers coming out of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and it's also going to wrap up some of the data points too.
Sure.
Very, very interesting stuff he talked about, and it's an interesting area of the industry for sports betting.
It's a crucial industry area that has to be analyzed, and it's just I want to thank Matt for clearing it up for us
and talking about great points. It sounds like it's going to be a new legal battleground in some areas.
Yeah, so, it looks like it's
getting heated.
Yeah, stay tuned. But hey, thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.